What's up, YouTube? What's up, Extreme Gains family? I'm Chuck, and this is Extreme Gains. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Today is Thursday, January 20th, 2022, and this is the AMC Algo Exposed Daily Update video, and I'm going to throw a little bit of the SPY in here because of what happened today, but holy shit, what a day. Real quick, I know it has nothing to do with AMC and SPY, but the Extreme Gains family today absolutely knocked it out of the fucking park. If you are not following me on Twitter, go follow my Twitter account at Gainz Extreme. You'll see what I mean. We had Peloton put call out today, and one of the members hit for 32,000% gain. I'm going to repeat that. A 32,000% gain. Go check it out. One of the other members shared it and clipped it and posted it. Go check that out on my Twitter if you haven't seen that yet. Anyways, I mean, that was just mind-blowing in itself, but what a fucking day. And then, on top of that, we saw the SPY start dumping out. I think we were up about 1.25 something percent green. At about 1:30 today, it turned and dipped. And we lost I talked about this in the video last night. At the end of the video, we lost the 449 support, and it dropped down through. SPY is currently, right now, it's down, for the day today, it's down 1.11% at 446, and it's down another almost 0.5% in after hours at 444. We have seen since then Netflix, and I forget what the other ones, but off the top of my head. I said this at the end of the live stream. I've been tracking this model from the 08 and 09 SPY back prior to and during the crash. I've been talking about it in reference to AMC and negative beta stocks the entire time I've been on YouTube here. Go check out those videos to see if you want a reference for that. Nonetheless, what I'm about to show you is the same exact thing I've been tracking this entire time. I used the bars pattern this time instead of pulling up the manual transposed that I've been using, just to give you a little better view of it here. And because I was talking about potentially column right moving it or column left moving it, depending on the bounce, if it gets a bounce here and goes to all-time highs. So I wanted to show you that. But anyways, yeah, crazy day. So it does look on the surface right now like potentially cards are starting to fall. The house of cards, okay? It's going to take a little bit more time to confirm that or not. But like I said in the live stream, I truly believe, in just my opinion, again, nothing I say ever is or ever will be financial advice. Sorry about that. But I do believe once 1, 2, 3, 8, 10 cards fall, then it all comes down. Okay? Is that what we're seeing right now? The beginning of, the start of? Possibly. Very, very possible. We are definitely in correction territory, in my opinion, with the SPY, and it definitely has had an effect market-wide. Take a look. So definitely going to be keeping a close eye on it, on levels, and the whole gamut. So I'm going to keep it moving here. Here's the SPY. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video. I have a lot to cover here, especially with AMC, so hang tight. As you see here, this is the 08, the blue transposed is the 07, 08, 09 SPY chart. And this is, I had manually put this on the chart that I have been using, so I figured I'd use bars here for you, like I said. But check this out. If I keep it where it's been and where I've had it in my hand drawn, manually drawn one, check that out. There it is. Right on top. Again, little nuance, right? But you can see the resemblance. You can see the movements that follow. Let me go ahead and zoom in for you. This shit's crazy, y'all. And I love every minute of it. Right? So that's what I've been looking at. Now, we talked in a couple videos in the live stream and different things about this potentially being something that, if it did go to all-time highs, would indicate something maybe like this. I'm not quite seeing it right now. When I tried to mess with this, whether it be column right and or column left, to where this here would be the actual fall that we're in right now, it is semi-similar if I did column left it a little bit. Right? Something, I mean, not quite, but almost, right? But we're missing this in the 07, 08, 09 if I line it up this way. So just, again, like I said, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on it. Y'all are going to be with me in the live streams and Discord. Y'all are going to be with me 24/7 regardless. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on it. But man, oh man, right there. I mean, it is definitely looking like that. So exciting times. I said it again. I'll say it again. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. We will. I don't care if we go to single digits with AMC. I don't care if GME goes and fills the $70 gap. We will be closer to the macro end result that all bulls and apes have been wanting and looking for since the beginning. We will be closer to that in single digits than we ever were at $77 a share. That is my opinion. Prove me wrong. All right. That's SPY. Now, let's go to AMC. I want you to bear with me here. I have quite a few things I want to get through. As you know, I have two bullish fractals, comparative fractals, macro comparative fractals that I've been looking at and using this entire time as well. I'll get to them in a minute. I'm going to look at the bearish first. You know that the bearish video I put out the other night, I got absolutely attacked and slaughtered for. I'm not going to do the ha-ha dance yet. It's not quite that time. But I am open for receptive people if you want to discuss this further. So what I've done is I have, I guess, modified this in a way that I feel that it fit better. We went over this in my Discord repeatedly the last couple days from the macro transpose here. And I know when I first showed this, right, it was down here at the $2 or whatever, but we were able to kind of shrink it up a little bit, and it still makes sense without totally manipulating the hell out of it to where it would, be overboard. And I'm not into that. So I said this from the very beginning. I just got onto this bars pattern like 2 weeks ago. I've never used it in my life till about 2 weeks ago. And the very first thing I said, and y'all were my witness in the live stream, was I like it, but I hate it because it gives you an opportunity to manipulate it in a way that confirms your bias if you want it to. So I try really, really hard to stay neutral and use it in, I guess, for a lack of a better term and phrase, the most responsible way I possibly can, without feeling as if I have over manipulated this thing in a way to confirm one thing or another, whether bullish or bearish. Also, for the record, when I say things like I have no conviction one way or the other, I do, obviously, right? It's not that I don't have conviction. I want this thing to fucking moon. I'm in this thing. I have a shit ton of my money in this thing. I want that as well. However, when I perform what I consider my job and my duty, not only to myself, but my money, I stay neutral. I stay down the middle. I stay unbiased. And that means I can't have any kind of feeling or emotion towards any of these fractals. Of course, in my gut and in my heart, I want this thing to go. But I am not a dumbass, and I'm not going to fool myself in my own thinking into coaching myself into thinking something is what it isn't, just for the sake of saying, I think we're going to the fucking moon next week. All right, so you're not going to get that on me. So From this point on, all of those conversations and comments are fucking falling on deaf ears, and they're mute. I will not address it again. Those of you that have been following me that are new, that sub, and all the new subs, y'all got a little taste of that, right? You know what I'm talking about. Just gonna keep it moving. So I appreciate all y'all and all the adults that are a part of this with me. So anyways, keeping it moving. Just an emotional day today. I'm wound up still. I had dinner. Normally I'm like, after dinner. Not tonight. I'm wound up. All right, so here is that macro bearish fractal from the bearish video that I put out a couple days ago. And here is the comparative fractal that I took it from. It comes from the macro descending wedge that we've been in since December 2013 to the January 2021 run-up. And it replicates itself, and here you can see it here. And it's been in what I believe in a compressed version of it here, and we're in that. And I've been using this as a bullish, which I'll get to, and it's right here, fractal, comparative fractal, by placing it up here where we're currently at. However, what it doesn't do is it does not resemble in any way, shape, or form the length or percentage drop that this performed when it was here to here. When this is applied to it in this way, like I did in that bearish video and I'm doing now, not only does its resemblance match up almost perfectly, but the percentage drop, numerical, mathematic, literally, I think we figured out 4% difference between the two of them. So that's the first thing I want to point out. Obviously, you can see the resemblance. This is the December 2020 fractal. It's down here, but nonetheless, the whole 2019 was here, 2020 was here, and then 2021 was here. And here it is in what I believe is the compressed version. So let me zoom in now. I want you to see the movement in close. Let's start up top, right? We have the double top, which is the box top. You guys that have been with me know what the box top is. All right, movement's the way down, and this is where we're at now. Now, I talked about this in yesterday's video as well. I don't, and I still don't know. Does this belong down here in the gap fill, right? That this thing's going to come down here into this gap fill and then do this? Does it belong right where I have it to where it bounces here, and we maybe get a bounce and we got some of it today, but maybe we get the rest of it tomorrow, and we do break back into this level of support that was support and now resistance. Again, I don't know. That little bit of positioning to justify a micro movement, again, is not my concern. It's the overall generalized perspective of the macro movements that I'm looking at here by doing this. So nonetheless, whether it comes down to the gap fill or not, I said this in yesterday's video, whether it comes down here to a little bit more to the gap fill or not, and if this scenario and this fractal, this comparative fractal is the one and ends up being the one, the generalized next macro movement is to the upside, right here. So this is what I'm looking for confirmation of in this fractal. So I want to point that out. The next thing I want to point out is let's go here. So way back when, I put another video out according to my algo theory, and I said this in last night's video as well. The algo theory for me, I called it the snake algo, where there's a head of the snake and a tail of the snake. And I put a video out a while back talking and using this exact chart, talking about these time blocks and how this micro head of the snake works within these time blocks, and how the tail, the macro of this snake algo, then starts to follow, where micro ends up leading macro. I also started talking about you guys know the box top methods, and I talked about in another video how this can be broken into and viewed in two ways: either one macro box top with a potential W forming, or two box tops, right? Box top, check up, W, parabolic, box top, down, check up, and then the W somewhere in here, or maybe even down further, right, into that bearish scenario, and then the W, right? However, you guys that know this know if we pull the third, that takes you to the next box top high. So if again, you depending on how you're going to look at this depth perception in this box top method of mine is key to this. However, you can use both, and I used it on BBIG today, and you guys got I put it on there 2 days ago for BBIG, and you all saw that happen where I said the conservative mid-sized third, right? The conservative mid third would be around $6. That was for BBIG, and it hit it slam dunk, hit it dead on. Excuse me. That's the conservative mid-size. There's also the macro, and on BBIG I explained that as well, and it's the same here, depending on how you look at this. Will both of them fulfill? I don't know. I think so. I don't know so yet, and here's why. To do it on a macro scale like this, and to use the two different scenarios from a scalability point, meaning one is supposed to be macro and one is supposed to be mid-size, to break it into two and try to be able to use both of them, I'm not quite sure how that works, right? Because if I'm using this as macro, the scalability of the W down here should fit this as a macro, which would mean it would need to bounce from here. However, the scalability from breaking this into two, this W down here would be a little bit smaller, but yet for the macro to fulfill at the same time, it would have to not only fulfill the mid-sized W as a smaller scale, but on a macro scale, it would have to finish a macro W at the exact same time, to, in my opinion, to indicate that it's going to fulfill both the mid third and the macro third. So that's yet to be seen. However, I wanted to point that out. I've had these on. I've talked about these before in other videos where I've pulled these thirds out like this. I talked about the mid and I talked about the macro from this exact chart. Okay? So with that said, what I've done here with this macro bearish fractal from this here was I pulled out the macro. Don't worry about the mid here. Not yet. I pulled out the macro third, right? If I'm using, this is my macro box top, and this is my macro downside with the check up and potential continued downside, and this would be my W. I pulled the third out before I even placed this fractal in here, this comparative fractal in here, and it ended up landing directly on the macro third for this one. Now, that does not mean that's all the higher this is going to go, if that's the case, according to the box top method and box top theory. It just means it's going to be the next stop after the parabolic run. That's all it means. Let me make that very, very, very clear. It does not mean that the buck stops here. It just means it's the next box top in the cycle of this, right? Because this is all it does over and over and over. Box top, down. Box top, down. Box top, down. Box top, down. Same thing, okay? So that's all it means. So, but however, it did, ironically, confirm itself, not only to confirm the third from the macro perspective, but it confirmed the parabolic move up and this fractal being used as the macro fractal landing on the macro third. Okay? There, now we got two things going on, or three things going on that are confirming potentially this as being the comparative fractal that needs to be used in this situation and scenario right here. That's number one. Number two, I then pulled, well, let me go into it like this. So then if you remember, I've talked about, again, the snake algo, right? That's the snake algo. I said this in last night's video. That is the title of my algo theory, and everything that falls under it are a bunch of moving pieces, right? The big brother, little brother, the box top, all of that came from the snake algo theory. They are all part of it, but the snake algo theory is the title of it, right, if you will, so everybody kind of has a concept of it. And everything else, according to the algo that I talk about, falls under that as a moving part to that, okay? So it's one thesis, one theory, snake algo, and it does have a bunch of moving parts because this isn't just, you know, some easy thing where I'm clipping matching fractals and that I think are matching and just pulling them from anywhere, all right? For those of you that think that, God bless your soul, young men and women. Anywho, so I talked about using micro to macro. Micro, I talked about in the video how it does pass macro eventually, and when it does bypass macro, it shows the head of the snake, and I was looking for a potential micro fractal, and I've used a couple, and they've worked out perfectly. I mean, the last one I showed has literally played out to a T right now. But what I want to show you is this. So I clipped, I'm not even going to say where because I'm not ready to release all the information yet, but I clipped a portion of the, and I will, and oh, you can't even release the information. When I'm ready, I will release this all, but I need to show you this from a confirmation standpoint as to look for this bearish move to the downside in a macro state, right? I need to show you all the confirmations, and it's not just picking that and putting it there and thinking that it's going down, okay? So what I've done is I found where I think the head of the snake has just showed itself in the last 2 weeks. I have clipped that from the 5-minute chart. I have clipped that move, right? In a certain amount of days, which I have already translated, and we've already accumulated and mathematically figured out the time, the ability to convert time and volume from 5-minute candle and movements to macro. We've already done all that. The Discord's been such a helping hand. I love all you guys. Thank you so much for your help. Anyway, so what I've done is I've clipped a certain block of the 5-minute chart on AMC where I think the head of the snake bypassed the macro where we were currently at the time that I noticed it, and then it bypassed it and it's showing future movement. I clipped that and brought it back out here to the daily and transposed it on this chart, on the naked daily chart of AMC where we're currently at as well. And then what happens, right? Here it is. Let's zoom in and look. Let me point out a couple things. So this is a chunk. I'll tell you, and it's what is it? 7 days? It's 7. Yeah, is it 7 days? It's 1 day or 7 days. Hold on, I wrote it down here. It's yeah. So I think I have 5 days or 4 days here. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, my bad. 4 days worth of 5-minute chart of AMC in the blue, overlaid on the current 4-hour chart. And I just want to zoom in to show you again, not candle for candle, but nonetheless, you see the resemblance and what it's portraying itself as, right? Up close. Now, man, this is a lot. Bear with me here, guys. I appreciate y'all sticking it out with me. Like I said, it's going to be a longer video right now. A lot to get through. I want you guys to see this in its entirety. Now, not only does it transpose itself on top of here appropriately, in my opinion, but it falls right into the descending wedge that I readjusted for this macro fractal. I pulled out the mid, right? Here's the macro third that matches up here. Here's the macro third that also matches here for this transposed 5-minute as well. And this would be the mid. Ironic how it also did this. Granted, movements are a little bit different here, but this is 5-minute, right? Understand 5-minute? We're looking at daily on the right from December 2020, and we're looking at 5-minute movement for a period of 4 days in the last 2 weeks, within the last 2 weeks when this happened. Another confirmation. It hits dead on, the macro third, the macro third, the macro comparative fractal, the micro head of the snake comparative fractal, Everything I have right now in this scenario is all lining up for something along these lines to happen. Again, I resized the macro fractal last night. It was down here when I had it all stretched out to show it in the first video. I resized it to see if I could get it to fit in here and make a little more sense from a level standpoint, and this is where I have it at. It shows a low of about $7.75, around, call it $8, somewhere in there, $7.75, $8. And then when I put this in and laid it in, it did the exact same fucking thing. $7.75, $8 area for a low. Same thing. So both of them are lining up in all aspects, with the box top macro thirds, with the bottoms being around the same levels, with the full macro scale of the descending wedge fractal that we're in compared to the previous fractal of 2013 to the January 2021 run-up. It's all lining itself up, y'all. Again, not news that I want to be the one bearing, but it's the truth. So I want you guys to see that it was more than just laying this in. And it's even more than that. The snake algo is something you guys have all, and gals have all asked me about it. A lot of y'all, not all of y'all, but a lot of y'all today. And I told you, and I know it sucks to even tell you that, but that is something that I'm holding near to myself right now. I have it figured, what I believe, and not only myself, but some of the Discord members that have been helping me push through some of this stuff to make sure they're helping me confirm these things, and they've been I guess the place that I was able to take these things to for confirmation and or invalidation. So, but I want to keep this near to me right now. I don't know if this is something I fully want to release. I feel that I've given a lot in the content that I've already put out. I told you guys that today, and I appreciate all you guys agreeing with me. And I've been trying to one-up myself constantly, and I think I'm just going to leave it how it is. I'm going to keep showing you guys what I'm showing you, especially for y'all that work all day, that have me in your ear for audio. I appreciate y'all, and I'm doing this for y'all as well, and for all of us that even are in there all day with me, and to just kind of get our heads wrapped around what the day was like and what tomorrow may bring, and some into the future as well. So I'm going to keep the whole tying in of the snake algo near myself right now, without releasing it until I truly decide that that's something I want to do. However, just know right now this is it, right? This is what it's showing. When I say this is it, I mean this is the snake algo showing itself. The head of the snake showing itself. The tail of the snake, the macro, confirming the head of the snake, and the head of the snake micro confirming the tail of the snake macro. All confirming downside move incoming from that scenario, or from that viewpoint, okay? All right, so that's the bearish. Holy shit, this is going to be long. Real quick, real quick, let me show you the two bullish, right? Again, the same exact fractal, however, not using it down here, but using it up here. This one here is extremely close to being invalidated, as you are about to see when placed on here. Oh, come on. There. As you can see here, the reason why it potentially invalidated is because of this, right? Again, it's close, right? And I said this yesterday. I was hoping it would be today. I looked on the daily. I'm going to give it at least tomorrow. See what tomorrow's movement looks like. If we get a really strong push up out of here, it's still going to be on the table with the other ones, right? They all show that as well. The micro over here, not so much. It does, if you look in here and you spread this apart, it does give you a move up before coming back down. So if we get a strong bullish move up tomorrow, I believe they're all still going to be on the table, unfortunately. This one's real close just because of the essentially parallel bottoms that we see in the comparative fractal, and that's not what we see here, okay? But I said that in yesterday's video. I'm saying it again today. I want to give it a little more time. I want to really be sure if I take something off the table, especially something that I've been using and tracking for, what, 6 or 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8 weeks now. Live on here, longer than that prior to me coming on here. So that's that one. And then the other one comes from the scenario of Big Brother, Little Brother, which is, again, also part of the Snake Algo. It's just another feature and moving part within it. Again, there's videos on it. I can't say it enough, you guys and girls. If you have not watched the videos leading up to this stuff, please, before you comment and try to throw a punch at me or shoot me or something for something that you just can't wrap your mind around, that you think maybe is stupid, doesn't make sense to you, whatever, go watch the videos. Don't be an asshat. For real, go watch the shit. It will blow your mind. And I'm telling you right now, I know the community now after today, after seeing what has happened in the Discord, seeing what has happened in the live stream today, I'm really looking forward to the comments tonight on this video from you all. I can't wait to see that. And thank you to everybody ahead of time. No, this is the... Where did it go? There it is. So in the Big Brother, Little Brother fractal, macro fractal comparison, it comes from here, right? I explained it in last night's video. Big Brother, Little Brother. This is this, and this is this. Same thing's happening here. This is this, and this is this. Also, this is this, and this is this, right? They can be interchanged. 2 videos ago, I interchanged them for you to show you. A while back when I made the time block video about these and about the snake, I showed that. I showed and I read a complete synopsis of my findings of an entire week's study that I did on time frames and everything else within this algorithm. It's in that video as well. It's all the contents here for you to look at to get context. Anyways, this is that. Damn, 32 minutes. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying here. Oh, there we go. Okay, something like this. And I've said this entire time. This one here has been the one that I have felt, as far as a bullish scenario, looked the best to me, is this one, right? This one would, I'll get there later. Even though I'm showing you you'll see later. Never mind. This one here from a bullish scenario is the one that I have always, to this day, and I've talked about it this entire time, has always felt better to me. It's what we've called the grind up. It is the grind up to the next box top, which is right here, right? That would eventually be the next box top here. And it, again, just so happens to fall and bring itself right to the next box top third, the macro box top third, okay? Levels that are relevant after laying in the macro fractal comparison. As you can see, very, very, very similar, right? Very similar. This one here, again, would be a move, what looks to be a strong bullish move to the upside, right? Which is why that, in a generalized perspective of the next macro movement, would be a bullish move to the upside, right? This one and the rest of them as well. So if we get a move to the downside tomorrow again, I think it would have something to do with this, and maybe I'm just not reading this appropriately, and it needs kind of stretch out a little bit, as you can see in here. I'll show you here. Right here, if you can see in here. We may have already done this, right, on the 4 hour. Maybe I need to be looking on 4 hour instead of daily. I don't know. I'll look at it if that happens, but right now, from a potential next macro move, it does look like all fractals are potentially pointing up right now, briefly, prior to downside in the bearish. And if it's the bullish fractal, I just showed you, right, we would get that move up, followed by a pullback down to the megaphone support before starting the next portion of the grind up. Again, day by day, level by level. I don't want to get too far in front of myself. I just want to show you these things, leave them open to interpretation. I'm not here as a genie in the bottle to make predictions for you or anybody else to have confirmation bias off of. That's not what I'm here to do, nor is it what I'm going to do, ever. If that upsets you, again, sorry your butt hurt over that. That is not something you're going to get from me. That's up to you to decide. All I'm going to do is use what I have as what I feel is my gift and my ability to put these things together and try to connect these dots and show them to you from a macro perspective until I can zoom in on the micro, which I've done with the box top method. There's a video about that as well. Go watch it. I'm just rambling at this point, so I think we're good. I just wanted to get through all that. I apologize that the video was this long. I thank you so much if you've made it to the end. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the love and all the support. Listen, if this thing does fall, I said this in the live stream today, I'm going to be celebrating. I know a lot of y'all think I'm nuts, but like I said, we will be closer to this thing going to the fucking moon from $7 than we ever were at 77. All right? Do me a favor, like the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I am live. If this first video you ever watched of mine, I go live from market open to market close, Monday through Friday, every day right here. We start at 9 a.m. And come by, check it out. Great community. We kicked ass today. You guys kicked ass today. And girls, I appreciate every single one of you. Hopefully here I will see you in the live stream tomorrow. I better. And if not, I'll see you all in the next video when I put it out. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, I guess. Yeah, 9 a.m. Talk to you all then. Have a good evening. Later.